But then for me, I'd still got Harry. Even though the following morning, you know, the nurses came out and we were pretty much on our own during the Saturday daytime because we wanted to be. Once they got Harry set up on his syringe driver and removed his ventilator and everything else, we just wanted to be a family. So we knew we could call them. They were amazing, the nurses, if we needed anything. And when Harry died, we phoned them not long after and said that Harry had gone, and they turned up. And then we were able to stay with Harry at home, or Harry was able to stay at home until the following morning, obviously when the funeral directors had to come and collect him and take him to Acorns.
Looking back on that whole period, that period where he was in ITU and you weren't quite sure, you know, whether he was going to pick up, you saw the other children improving. Do you think there was anything else that could have been done, or were you satisfied that with everyone involved that things were handled as well as they could be at that time?
Yeah, I was. There was a couple of occasions where I felt that some of the consultants should have listened. It wouldn't change the outcome at all.
Because you were noticing his deterioration.
I knew.
First, weren't you?
I just knew. Other nurses knew, and other nurses were calling the consultants in the middle of that, and I could hear the nurses talking about it, you know. But ultimately, they did their best for Harry. But Harry was still on this neurosurgical ward, and once they knew that he'd had his surgery, and obviously the tumour had grown back, it was too risky for them to operate on Harry again.
Yeah.
But they wanted the neurosurgical team, because obviously the beds are very valuable, I understand that. They wanted to move Harry onto the cancer ward. But for me, you know, and I expressed my views that, look, when Harry came in, he was awake, he's only known this ward, he's got to know voices of all the nurses. He's in a very dark place, he's not awake. He's got familiarity by staying on this ward. And also by moving him, even though he's now on chemotherapy, by moving him onto a cancer ward, those cancer nurses specialise in what they do. They're not trained if Harry suddenly develops something as a result of brain surgery.
I can understand that.
So we fought to keep out, you know, and they kept him on there. But I don't know, maybe it's me. I did feel sometimes that Harry was, you know, forgotten because he didn't have a voice. He couldn't say, I'm in pain, or I need this doing, or...
It's hard in those later stages when the communications are becoming more impaired anyway.
Yeah, his own... And I just felt such relief every time Harry's own consultant, the oncologist, walked into that ward, because I felt safe, you know, and I felt that he honestly listened to everything that I said. And also... the endocrinologist doctor was consultant, which looked after all his growth and hormone side. They knew I wasn't a panicky mum, you know, and they knew when I said something that it was because I was genuinely disturbed. I wasn't being nervous about the situation, but I tried to encourage everything for Harry to wake up, you know, as every parent would in that situation. It's but just some levels of care, you know. I could spot any nurse that had been through the same journey, that had lost a child or been through cancer. Could spot them a mile away because the level of care was so, just stood out a mile, you know. And sometimes it's just that, you know, when people forget and they think that a chart is just a chart and this is just a, you know, and it's not things that I, you know, want to go into now, but those charts are there for a reason, and scores and things are there and need to be accurate for a reason, because they feed the information to the neurosurgeons and oncologists, and you know, communication, empathy is everything, and it helps you through that. You know, it's not a patient, it's a person, you know.
Yeah, that's still important to remember that for everyone, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that person, you know, whether they're awake or in a coma, you know, they've got feelings, and the family around them have also got a lot of, you know, that person is somebody's, the life to somebody else, you know, that they're, whether it's their parents, their wife, their husband. So I just, yeah, but you know, ultimately everything with Harry, all the doctors, all the teams, and it opens your eyes to the amount of people that are involved in such a journey, not just cancer but anything, because you don't know until you've been through something. And they were all amazing and did their very best for Harry. And yeah, a few areas that from our own journey we learn from, but we always do, but it wouldn't have changed the outcome for Harry.